pull a rookie move.
And how we doing tonight? And welcome to another episode of What's Your Grails. I'm your host Tony Sanders, and once again we're back on Thursday night. And with me tonight is a special guest, the YouTube comic book community guide himself.
Boom, you got it. That's
We've
perfect.
we've been discovered, Discovery Bay, and I didn't even
Yep.
practice that.
That's good stuff, man. Man, I've jumbled that line so many times. So that's good stuff. We actually popped that one right. No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh man, glad to have you on. Like I've had a lot of people on, and I was like, man, and I've asked you a few times to come on, but you've been busy. So I was like, man,
Yeah.
I need to get Discovery on here. And it's like every time you'd be like, man, I'd love to come on, but I'm doing this, and I'm like, ah. And so last week, while I was sending him the stuff for my Bueller show for What's Your Grails, I asked him while I was sending him the stuff. I was like, hey, you free next week? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'm
So,
kind of, taking the summer off, being stay-at-home dad this summer, so my schedule's kind of open. So I was like, let's do it. Why not? I've
uh,
actually organizing my books, finding some of the stuff that, man, I forgot I had, because you scoop stuff up and you put them in short boxes and you like, I'll get to them later, and next thing you know, you got 8 short boxes worth of stuff that is just mixed and tangled. And literally, there's Silver Age in there with New Comic Haul with all kinds of stuff.
oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I literally have like a stack of books like right in front of me right here, just like, and it's like
Wow.
stuff that I'm reading, stuff that I'm organizing, stuff that I'm like, like that I've got to put in my son's box, that I got to put in my box, and it's like, and it's my wife's like, okay, it's been sitting there for like, like a week, and I was like, no, it's different. That's not the same books. It alternates.
They're all- yeah, well, she was like, "What's up with the stack?" I said, "Well, the stack is I'm getting to them. I'm opening one a day." She goes,
Yeah.
"You're getting more than one a day coming in. You're never going to catch up. What do you?"
Uh, yeah.
So yeah, I need another challenger. Like Adam called me out. We went 12 rounds. I need another 12-round bout. So anybody out there who's down to challenge what's in the boxes over here, we can get another competition going, because that was fun as hell.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good show. I enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
So I always start the show off asking my guests, what is your holy grail?
What is the holiest grail? The one that I have not attained, that I've always wanted, or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
what
yeah.
is
Yeah. We'll do. We'll start with that one. Yeah.
Um, if anyone knows how old I am, I'm an X-Men fan. I grew up an X-Men fan. I was high school. I was a freshman in 1986, which is right in the middle, coming off of that Claremont era, and just some great stuff, great storylines in there. And so GSX1 would be my grail, that first in my mind I thought I had it, but I don't, because as I've gone through all my stuff, I'm like,
You don't
man,
have.
I had that book.
I thought you
But I
had
don't
that.
have it. Don't have it. So that's definitely on there. And then that's up there that I've never attained. There's definitely stuff on the list. I knew I was going to be on the show, so I started thinking about what is the grail. I kind of got 2 lists. There's that list of completing what the old man started,
Yeah,
which I don't think I'll ever truly attain. But you're talking FF1 and ASM1 and Avengers 1, because those are the 3 titles that he collected, really. But for me, it was GSX1 and for X-Men 94. How come I don't have that issue? That's on the list. It's like I'm always looking for it, and then it's just not on the top of my mind when I'm out and about searching.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else did I have on my list? Oh, dude, ASM Annual number 1, First Sinister 6.
Yeah, that is gonna be like an actual hot book. So like,
I can never get my hands on that book, not in a grade that I want anyway. And
oh no.
I've never actually pulled the trigger on even a low grade. I keep saying, no, I'm just going to hold out. And then it just gets more and more freaking expensive. So I don't know. They never own it.
Yeah, because I've seen like some low grade ones like around $200-$300, and that's just like,
yeah.
I'm just like, man, we don't even want to get into like giant size X-Men, because I was on eBay, and like okay, yeah, I have like a 1.8 of one, and it's
I love that 1.8. That's
and it's like
looks though.
I know, that's what I said. Like it's like
1.8. Holy shit!
And it's Comic Books NYC said that it has like a split or whatever, and that's part of it. but like it
They
needs to
all
be.
have a split on that binding.
That's what it says, but I don't think so though. It's probably like I don't know, but like to me, it's like it shows great, man. Like
Man, damn,
when
that
I
shows really well.
this was in a Walmart parking lot on an eBay purchase. Me and this guy,
Oh my
it felt like one of
god.
the it felt like one of the shadiest things I'd ever done in my life because I was in the
Oh
parking
my
lot and
goodness.
I'm messaging some stranger talking about money, and I'm like, all right, well, what if I send you this and we do this, and is the book real? Is it there? And like the guy was like, he's like, yeah, I just had it graded through PGX. They said it's a
And
two.
your wife is going, they're gonna hold you up in the parking lot because they
Yeah,
know you're coming with money and knucklehead.
yeah. So it was like I don't know. It was like, but I got it done. I got the book. It showed up.
Damn.
You can see my cheesy opening video on my channel, like the old, like my old phone videos and stuff like from back in the day. So yeah, so that was kind of a funny deal. So
Sweet. You gonna hit the chat? You wanna knock out who's up in there?
we got Ben Compton, Comic Books NYC, Who Dat Comics, and Bear Island Comics. Probably
Boom.
more.
What's up, fellas? Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
So yeah,
Mm.
that was like one of the books that like you said was on my list, and like I am an X-Men fan as well.
Mm.
And like on my list, like that was on my list, and as well as 94, and which I sniped Bueller's book.
Ah, you like the Bueller 94?
Yeah, that's the 94. This Bueller called it the
Oh yeah,
said
that's right. There's a hashtag for that, isn't there?
yeah, hashtag 94 sniper.
Yeah, that's right. I was right. That's right.
So yeah, that book like it's right there if you can kind of see it, but it's like my camera
Yeah.
kind of fuzzed out for a second, uh, but like right back there is where it's at, and it's I always call it the sketch grill or the sketch cover or whatever because it's always like it's sun bleached real bad, but
Oh, okay.
but man, if you open the book up, I opened the book up and showed people, and like the inside of it's great. And I got it from Alex Comic Hoarder. He had put it on Instagram, and Bueller was like, I guess messaged him or whatever, but I didn't know at the time. So all I seen was the book, and I've been looking for a 94, and I didn't care. It was it was 125 bucks. I was like, dude, like if and Alex Comic Hoarder said it was either a 4 or a 3, and I was like, good enough. And I was like, messaged him, and I was like, what's your PayPal? That's all I said to him. I was like, what's your PayPal?
Yeah, jump on that, man.
And so yeah, so I bought it, took it to C2E2 when we were up there hanging out in C2E2, and got it signed by Claremont, and came back a 3.0. So I was happy about that. So
I got a question. Have you gotten any of those behind you from any of the waffles? The waffles? Because I mean, literally, this one right back here. I have two on the wall that are from waffles, from the IG waffles.
no, I don't have
You
any
do any of those?
No, I don't have any
Stay
waffles.
away from those.
Yeah. No,
All right.
I mean, like, no, like there's ones that I would do, like anytime like Erod or somebody, like I don't mind, like those are
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
no, yeah.
yeah,
That the Ultimate Fallout 4 was from Erod,
yeah.
and this one was from Very Gary.
And see, like, I don't mind, like to me, it's like not a big deal to do them because it's like it's cheap, it's cool. Like you have a chance to win a cool book, so it's like, but I just don't really get in. Like, I'm not much of a gambler, I guess. I don't know what it is like, but when it comes to sniping books on eBay,
That's where your game's at. Nice.
I got 2 phones and a computer. I'm refreshing.
Refresh. Yeah,
So
I have lost some books, man. I'm like, what the hell just happened there?
yeah,
You know? Oh, I
yeah,
definitely got this. Okay,
like
you know what? I definitely got this. My bid's 250. It's at 125. There's 30 seconds left. I'm
yeah,
golden.
yeah.
I lost. What?
Yeah, like somebody just jumps over the
Yeah.
bid. It's like, what happened, yo? Or then like when you get the bid and it's like you're like, there's no way they're gonna send me this. Like, not
Yeah.
not for what I just paid.
Yeah.
So like another a grail that I got recently that like as a kid growing up, I remember watching this show, and Space Ghost, man, like it was
Ooh.
the stuff back in the day, so it was. And he turned invisible, he had the little ray blast and stuff. And so for me to find this on eBay, and like the dude that I bought it from, because I am a guy literally that when I get on eBay, I don't give a darn what you're posting as the price. I'm messaging you, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna see if
Every
we can
time,
talk
huh?
about it. about
You're
a
that
different
guy.
fight. I'm that guy. Hey, what are you
Hey.
doing? Hey, I noticed your book.
Hey.
Hey, would you take
Nice.
this? And sometimes it works, man. Some people are ready to
So,
get rid of their
you
stuff.
know, even if they're not accepting offers, you're like, hey, I'm going to go look up this seller's email and shoot him an email and say, hey,
Yeah. Even if it doesn't say it.
whoa,
So,
nice.
yeah, do that because I'm telling you, we're like nine times out of 10, I get a good deal just from talking to the person. And because like if you're just like and if you do PayPal, they automatically know they're going to get their money. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So like this was Space Ghost #1, Hanna-Barbera. First appearance of Space Ghost, Blip, Jace, and Jan. Only issue. Only issue ever
Ooh,
printed.
let's see.
Uh, and it's signed by the voice actor.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it's signed by the voice
Yeah.
actor right there. And then let's see. And there's the back. He signed it on the back too. I like the back for some reason. I guess he looks kind of stoic or something. Like he looks kind of
Remember the
cool.
cartoons? I was
Yeah.
just actually, I wrote that down. I'm like, when I was a kid, the two cartoons that I remember the absolute most were the X-Men and then the Spidey, the Spider-Man and Friends and his Amazing
Yeah.
Friends.
And
So
that's
then
another.
that pushed you into well, not pushed me, but I was huge into X-Men because of that cartoon, and I was huge into X-Men and Wolverine, and one of the crossover kind of things was my dad was like, "Dude, Wolverine sucks," Daredevil's where it was at. And I'm like, "Dude, Daredevil, come on, Dad, what the hell's wrong with you? You don't even know." And then this came out where there was a Daredevil crossover Wolverine story,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I was like, yeah, I'm hooked, man. This is the shit right here. So I started collecting Daredevil after this run, and I was already collecting Wolverine. So one of the books I actually just recently acquired, maybe a month ago from Big Will, was on my list of
Oh
Grail,
yeah.
that first Wolverine. Now, Seawood actually sold me basically almost the entire run of this, except for issues like 1 and 2 and a couple other, spotted ones. So now with this one in the collection, once I find which short box that's in, I'll have almost that whole run. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
number 1 is cool, and then like 8, the tuxedo cover. Oh,
yes, yes, with a Hulk.
yes,
Yes,
Joe
fix it.
fixed it. Joe fixed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like here's another one of my little favorite books right here. Um, got this at C2E2 last day of C2E2. Which, by the way, people, if you go to a convention, don't blow your load the first time you walk through the door, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, you'll regret it.
Deals to be had on the last day during pack up, right?
Yes, this is when I
Yeah.
bought this because I was looking for JD because like me and JD, like that's the day we had met Golden Age Guru and we were messing around looking at Golden Age books and
Where was
uh
he set up at? Because that place was super clean. The way they had the dividers and
oh yeah.
yeah, I can't remember what the booth was, but that was
It
super
was like
clean.
kind of like I can't explain, but like I could see it in my head, but it was just like,
Yeah.
but like yeah. So whenever I couldn't find JD because I was gonna ask him, even though it was gonna like let him know what was up on the hunt or whatever because I was gonna get this book, but I wanted to and then like so I couldn't get a hold of JD and I was just like man. So last day of the C2E2, the guys like basically packing up to go. I
Yep.
walk up. I'm like, hey, that Green Lantern 1.8 #1.
1.8. You
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. I'm telling y'all, dude. What? I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna have like the cleanest low grade collection you've ever seen in your life. And
I love it.
so so the guy was like, he hands it to me. I'm looking at it. He had like a $500 or something price on it. I told the dude like under it was like I think like 3 something or 4, I can't remember what it was, but it was like I know it wasn't 5. And like
Yeah.
the dude was like, yeah, because he wanted the money and he was leaving anyway. So he was like, he's heading out of town probably. So the dude pulled the trigger on it and was like, cool. So I bought it. So this is 1.8 Green Lantern #1, first appearance of the Guardians, and one of my Hunt World Championships from the show that I used to win the show with. This is like so this has like a lot of sentimental value to me as well.
Nice. It's a winning book.
Yeah, it's a winning book. This book
Nice.
is a winner. So yeah,
1.8. I love it.
yes. So don't ever let anybody. You can come on the hunt with a
With
low grade book. We
low
don't care.
grade and win
But
it.
but yeah, you can. Matter of fact, no, wait. Yeah, I did win. Matter of fact, I think I did win. the hunt with yeah, I think I did win the hunt with. I have to bring that out and see, but I have to go back and look. But I think I won it with the first appearance of Ultron, and it was like a brown, like I got for free from my buddy at his shop,
Hmm,
and it was like the first appearance of Ultron, and it was like brown and tan. I have to go back and look, but I think I won with that book too, so I might have to get that slabbed and you know, with the X-Men 50 and the Green Lantern #1, and that that goes with the World Championships there. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right. You got
with
the
my
championship.
grails, with my grails
Nice,
there. So
nice.
so you were telling me about a specific. Speaking of well, your Avengers books that you were talking about. You were talking about that one book we were just talking about that was like sentimental to you. So
Oh, okay, yeah. So, all right. When I was a kid, my dad had a stack of comics that I wasn't allowed to read, and I got my hands on one. This one specifically. And I treat it like this, but because it's all busted up. Because when I was a kid, I don't even think I could read. I think I was just flipping through these, like looking at the pictures at the time, and I yanked out a couple of pages out of the center, and he was not happy.
oh man,
And that was out of this book, which I've been flipping through as a kid. It's got a fold in the middle of it. This is the actual book. So the story is that I never got my hands on it again once I ripped the center out of it. But as I grew up, I started still collecting some Avengers, and at issue 350. 350 is a special issue because one, it's got this cool pullout cover where you got Avengers 1 cover, and then it had some other key issue covers inside of it, right? Which is kind of cool. And then 350 is a double size where when you flipped it over, you got that book, which was the book, which I never got to read as a kid because I couldn't never get my hands on it again after I ripped the centers out of it.
oh man.
So I finally get this book, older, and I read it. And then, of course, once my dad passed away and stuff, and I went through his stuff, I finally, I got the book. So this has always been one of my grails. It's not a book that's worth a bunch of money, but I ended up scoring one of these on Home of the New York Warriors, and I think you were going to bid on this, weren't you?
Yeah, yes, honestly, yes. I did tell you that I was going
Yeah.
to bid on that
So
book. I'd been eyeballing one of those books, and I, at the time, was watching the New York Warriors auction, and I guess you could call me a sniper, but I was gonna get
yeah,
the book, and then I seen you were bidding on it, and I was like, nah, just back off, and I did not bid on the book.
and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that because this has a lot of sentimental value. Now, this is actually the book, but to have one on the wall to remind me of that, the fact that I always wanted to get my hands on this book as a kid,
Oh
because
yeah,
of the stack, that was the one I wanted the most because it had the X-Men and Avengers on it,
and it's a
and
cool cover, man. It's always been a cool cover.
it's a cool story too. It's a great story. I mean, you got Magneto in there running game on everybody basically, and it's a good one. But I ended up getting this on Home of the New York Warriors, signed by Roy Thomas, and this is on the wall, and hopefully will be on the wall for many, many more years to come because that is one of my personal grails.
Oh yeah, Roy Thomas always putting that signature on some stuff. I'm gonna show this book right here. Now, this is a grill I just got, and I got it from a good buddy of mine, one of my brothers from the hunt, JD. He a-okayed this to me because he knows I'm a big Captain America fan, and Endgame was killer when Cap fought Cap, and this
That
is
was
like
sweet.
it
Oh,
is
I
like
knew that there was okay.
it's 156, Captain America
I
156.
gotta write that down. Holy shit. That is sweet in a 9.0. White? Off white?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's off-white pages. But I don't care. It's still I like the cover, dude, because it always
That's
reminds me
sweet.
of that line. This is America's ass. That's America's ass, all right. It's like, dude. So I
Yeah.
like that. It's like, dude, and he knew
That's
that,
a
like,
great book. Yeah, 156, man. That is a great book.
yeah, and it's like, so I'm glad that he sent this to me. I'm really, like I said, this is actually gonna go. Like, I'm gonna replace my Captain America Annual 8 with the Wolverine. Him striking the shield, signed by John Beatty and Mike Zeck. I'm taking that down, dude, and putting this up there because this is awesome. I
Now,
mean, Wolverine versus Cap is cool, but Cap versus Cap, you can't get better than that.
so you were mentioning real quick. I just want to touch base real quick. On the last day of C2E2, I was basically running around kind of doing the same thing you were, but I was with Drew Manchu. And just a little bit of advice for anybody doing it, when you're going to these conventions, at the end, your PayPal is just as good as cash.
Oh yes, yes.
I mean, they are like that is like cash. PayPal, friends and family is basically cash.
Yep.
and they'll wheel and deal with you, especially when because they're one of the first questions when you bring up your little stack of books is, are you going to pay cash? Because they're going to look all crazy, and then because then it's like cash no receipt. Okay, we're going to wheel and deal, but you walk up there with your American Express card out, and they're like, yeah, it's the price, and I got to charge you fucking tax and 4%, and like,
Yeah.
whoa, the hell, bro. So PayPal is the way to go, especially on the last day when deals are to be had, because they're like, dude, that's just as good as cash.
Oh yeah, and they will deal with you on the last because they're trying to move extra books, trying to get that last minute sale.
Yeah,
and, dude, like it'll happen. Like just look for what you
there's
want.
stuff to be found digging through boxes. I didn't personally find any of the deals like Drew found, but there are so many thousands and thousands and thousands of books to go through at these conventions that those guys can't pull every time a book gets hot.
Oh yeah,
and he ended up pulling that Batgirl out of a $5 bin and went and slabbed it and got a 9.6 out of it for
Man.
$5. And it's that I think it's the Archer Batgirl. It's just a beautiful book. And because they're out there to be had because those guys can't go through all those books.
And what's crazy is like when we were at C2E2, it was real easy to get like Creighton Klain's signature, Greg Horn, Art Germ. Like you could there was really no lines for them. You could just walk up. Like the lines were really just for Claremont, Perez. Mark Silvestri had a line too. I don't care what nobody said. Yeah, sure. Silvestri had a line. Rockstar motherfucker. Only dude, I'm in his line waiting for him, and this dude posts a on Instagram talking about late for my signing, and he's like posing and stuff I'm like, are you for real?
Nice. Well, I know Drew hates what's his name, Perez.
Yeah, Perez. Yeah.
He stood in that line or whatever it was, and then Perez had to take lunch after 30 minutes. He's like, what the hell, dude? You only been signing for 30 minutes. You got to take a lunch?
Man, that's crazy.
Oh, man.
So this book right here, I'll pull this book out because a couple buddies of mine, and that's Comic Head 84 and Genome Presents. They did a review on New Warriors 1, and they shredded it. That's what they did. I'm not gonna hate on them. That's what they did. They shredded it. That's their opinion. I'm from. I grew up around that time. I read these books, and to me, that was a solid team book. It was just a bunch of kids getting together. Had no purpose, but they got together and made a cool team. And you have to read all right, New Warriors 1, yes, but then you have to read Thor 4, 11, and 12, and then get into New Warriors 1. And then when you go from New Warriors 1, you got to read through New Warriors because Night Thrasher whoops the Punisher. I don't care what nobody says. You've never seen if you've never.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yes, I will speak the truth. Night Thrasher whoops the Punisher. And I'm serious. The Punisher had to run away from Night Thrasher because that's how bad Night Thrasher was whooping him. And so,
damn.
So if you've never read, it's issue. It's either 6, 7, or 8, but it's Punisher and Night Thrasher on the cover. And when Mark Bagley does the artwork. So Mark Bagley is a well-known Spider-Man artist, but this is his work before Spider-Man. And Mark Bagley kills team books. I don't care what nobody says. If you want a team drawn, get Mark Bagley. And this is my New Warriors #1 and a 9.2 signed by Mark Bagley and Stan the Man himself. And I will stand up for New Warriors any day of the week. New Warriors is a standalone good story. That is a cool book. If you've never read it, you got to read more than just the first issue and just judge it. You got to read the whole actual I collected the whole from the beginning to end. And to me, it was solid, dude. It was the storytelling was good.
How many issues did it run?
I think I want to say 75 or something like that.
Damn, that's
yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Gomez? Gomez the Collector. Gomez the Collector in the house. Cachone, Biggie Shaq. Like I said, Nova is a spec character right now, and this is
absolutely.
So this is his reintroduction back in the 90s to Marvel. Nobody knew who he was when he came out. They were like, who's this guy? I know who he was because I had Nova #1 when I was a kid. I had Speedball #1. I knew what that was. I knew what Speedball was. I knew who Firestar was from, Spider-Man and Amazing Friends. And the only reason I knew who she was because, Submariner. So, but like all alone, for me, and I literally bought this book like I'd say like a week and a half before Stand passed,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
I know the guy I bought it from. He's probably kicking himself now and wants to keep this book, but
I
this is mine and
yeah.
it's never gonna leave my collection. And I don't care if it's a new Warrior. Even Big E's from New York Warriors said that a New Warriors #1 in the high grade is still a good book. So I don't care what nobody.
Right? There you go.
And
Plus,
let alone double signed. So that's
Stan Lee. I mean, I think I got two now. I just bought one from Spectre. I bought a Stan Lee sign from Spectre on an auction. I knew he was going to put it up. Waited 2 days for him to put that damn book up. And then I had gotten one from that Spider-Man booth when I was at C2E2. Remember they had
oh yeah
for whatever $250, and we opened those live from the house that crazy ass house. Man, did you go to that house? I don't remember. Yeah, you went over to that house.
I went over. Yeah, I went over there the night we went to Chinatown. Yeah.
Yeah, that night was crazy. Hey, I've been practicing my karaoke for Baltimore.
I gotta get ready to go to that.
I'm ready. I got a song all ready to queued up, ready to go.
So now I know for a fact. Speaking of Spider-Man.
Oh man, I got some Spider-Man.
So let's see what you got on that. I know you got a Spider Grail in there somewhere.
I do. Before I get to Spider-Man, though, I really want to go over something else. It's another really cool story.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I'm a child of the early '70s. There was a movie that came out that kind of changed everything, and this book was always one of my grails. Again, I thought I owned one of these freaking things, but I guess I didn't, even though I thought I really did. So I was always on the hunt for one of these in a higher grade book. And Matt from The Boy Who Had Seven was doing mystery boxes. And one of the prizes in the mystery boxes was a Star Wars 1.
Oh, yeah.
I did not win this book from him. I bought 2 boxes. I got some good stuff, but I didn't win this. This is what I was going for. Bake the Snake won this. And then Bake, a couple months later, put it up for auction. And I was the first bidder. And as soon as I bid on it, nobody else bid. So I ended up getting, and it's a really, really nice copy of Star Wars 1 for $100.
Oh, yeah.
And that is one of my personal grails that I always wanted to complete, was to get my 1, because I've had this up on the shelf for years. I've had the last issue up on the shelf, so now I can put the first one next to it.
Oh, snap. And newsstand. Newsstand.
Yeah. Newsstand for both. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to make sure I got that one in there because that's one of my personal grails. Now, you want to talk about ASM?
Oh, let me give a quick shout out to Alex the Comic Hoarder, JB Budget Collecting. What is up, guys?
What's up, fellas? Nice.
And
so, before we get Spider-Man, I never thought I was going to own one of these, and you guys know the story about it because I picked it up in the Spider-Man booth. I was a huge Wolverine fan growing up. I showed you my Wolverine 1, my Wolverine and Daredevil. Wolverine was a very iconic character growing up. You had the cartoon. You had just the fact that he was brutal. I always told my dad Wolverine would take any of your old characters, Dad. And he looked at me and he goes, Doctor Strange. And I'm like, I don't even know what Doctor Strange does, dude, but he's not doesn't have claws, does he? And he's like, kid, get the hell away from me, because you know what the hell you're talking about. Dr. Strange, I guess at one point Dr. Strange was so powerful that it was kind of ridiculous in his comic books.
Yeah, because they said he's been watered down recently. 2 times I think he got watered down from what he used to be.
So powerful, so cosmically powerful. And I'm like, no, Dad, Wolverine to kick his ass. Whatever. Whatever. So this book right here, never thought I'd own it.
Man.
I actually, when they did the facsimile, I would pre-order 10 of them because I said, I'm going to take my best one of those and go get it slabbed because that's going to be the book I have on the wall because I'm never going to own a real one. And then I pulled this out of the Spider-Man booth.
Oh, now, you freaked out, didn't you?
Well, the interesting thing about this was that it arrived before I left to C2E2. I met the owner of that Spider-Man booth at C2E2, we got some camera footage with him while we were buying our boxes because they were $250 each for the signed Stan Lee's. Spectre and I did them. And then we, tagged him when we showed our books and everything. This thing has already been sitting here. Didn't know. And then when I finally go to open it, I hadn't opened very many Spider-Man booth boxes before. So when I pulled the box up and it was in the UPS or FedEx, whatever it was. And Billy from economics looked at it and he goes, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, it's the Spider-Man booth." And he goes, "They don't ship them like that, bro."
They don't.
GP. Well, I didn't even know what the GP was that I had bought it for because, dude, it takes a couple weeks for them to come to you. And you start buying them every Monday pretty much because
and you forget what you bought.
Is good, and I forgot. I don't even know what the fucking GP was for this one. So I was like, okay, well, I got the GP, sweet, and I'll start unwrapping this thing, and sure as shit, there it was, and that is a great looking copy too. For a 6, it's a gorgeous copy. I bet it can be pressed. I mean, I think it's got a pressable defect, but I don't know because there's like a little crease right here.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
but I don't know if I would ever crack it. But man, it's got that beautiful copy though. So this is obviously on the Grail list. It's something you never think you'll ever attain. But yeah, I've attained it. Now, interesting story. I've only had it for a couple months. I've probably gotten more offers on this damn thing. Serious, like people IGing me seriously. Hey, would you take 2,600 for that? Hey, I'll give you 20, and that's about the range. So 25, 26, 28. That's what I've been offered. I'm like, no, sorry.
Man, like, yeah, it's like, see, and that's what's funny about like the whole collecting thing is like some of these books I get like just because I think the cover's cool or I like the story and then like next thing you know it turns into something that's worth money. And I told my wife I was like hey me having these things in these cases and me having these is beneficial for y'all. So like if anything ever happens to me, you know what you've got, and let alone that you won't get scammed. And then I would look, I would expect my fellow community to look out for my family as they sell my collection off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
quick though. I got a guy I work with, and he's a low key comic fan, and he loves Green Lantern, and he always told me, he's like, dude, if you ever pass away, I'm gonna show up at your funeral with a receipt saying that you left me your Green Lantern #1, and I just died laughing. I was like, you think my wife would abide by that? He was like, well, I work with you and you sign a lot of stuff, so eventually you'll sign it, and you won't even know. And I was like, so now every time I'm around this guy, I'm always making sure like whatever I'm signing is nothing, that he can take and be like, he's leaving his Green Lantern #1 to me.
On a post-it note, yeah.
Just sign
Green Lantern #1 right here.
Just sign your name. I'll fill it in later.
Nice.
And so here's another Grail of mine that I want to show because I'm a Captain Marvel fan, and some people are like, why are you such a Captain Marvel fan, and why is it such a big deal to you? I like, dude, like, all right, let me see if I can find that one, but it should be down here. But that book alone is wait, here it is. No, that's a good book too.
Hold on real quick, I want to grab this book.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Well, I can't find that one, but the reason I'm a big Captain Marvel fan is because dude, like, if you've never read The Death of Captain Marvel, like, that is like one of the best like deaths of a superhero. Some people say Superman. I'm like, I beg to differ.
Yeah, he died from cancer, right?
Yeah. Like, dude, he had like the Skrull Empire came to his bedside and gave him a Medal of Valor, saying, you fought for your people, valiantly. We respect you. You're a warrior. Blah blah. The Skrull, dude, his mortal enemies, like they came to his
enemies said, "I respect you."
Yeah. And then like what was cool was like when he died, like Thanos took him to the other side. and Lady Death. Like Thanos and Lady Death took him to the other side.
That's cool, man.
So
That's
yeah, like that. That to me was like, you know, like
cool.
one of the things that like made me just like enjoy that character. Like even though it was his death, like you know, like I went back and I like read like online, and then like I bought some books and stuff, and I read, uh, and I enjoyed the character, man. It's just like you know he was like, and a lot of people don't realize like Marvel took that character and made fun of you know the other Captain Marvel. But well,
Yeah.
it was like not really fun. It was kind of like you know, hey, we can do it too, you know. And which was if you didn't know, at one point in time, Rick Jones, yes, Rick Jones from the Hulk and all this other stuff, Rick
Yeah.
Jones, A-bomb, blah blah blah. Rick Jones at one point in time would slap his wrists together like this and turn into Captain Marvel as a homage, kind of like towards the other Captain Marvel from DC. So
Oh,
Rick
I didn't know.
Jones, yeah, Rick Jones was Captain Marvel at one point in time. So
Oh, I didn't
uh,
know that.
and so this book right here is just it's Marvel's #1 Generations. It's Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, and I wanted a book signed by Stan, so I got this, and it's signed by Stan Lee.
Dude, how many Stanleys you got? No.
just two, just these two, because like this one, and
I
this
love
is
that
like
cover though.
yeah,
That cover's fire. I
the
love that cover.
like I just love like and then like I got it with the red label, so it kind of goes along with that. So, but I just liked it, but it's got the ugly Stan Sig though. It's the
How
ugly Stan
sensorial.
Sig, but it's still a Stan Sig though, so it's all good.
Okay, two things coming out of that one. First, you mentioned the red label and it works with that slab. Did you see what the EGS is doing with the different color
Yes,
logos?
yes. Shout out to
Dude, some of
ETS.
those look freaking awesome, man.
Yes,
You
dude.
know, I don't know how I feel about it still, but I think some of them they look really freaking good.
Yes,
You know?
like
So
that
he
Hulk
might
with
be
the
changing
green.
the game.
Did you see the Hulk with the green?
We might be witnessing him changing the game right now, literally.
Yeah, because like
Crazy.
I told Erod, because I'd bought like I had found that when I posted that Adam Hughes cover of where was it at? It was the A-Force #1 that I posted on
Yeah.
Instagram, and that red cover, and it's Medusa on that red cover by Adam Hughes or whatever.
Mhm.
And I told A-Rod, I told Erod, I was like, yo man, I think I'm gonna send you that book and have you press and clean it, and then turn around, have you sign it, or have
Yeah.
Adam Hughes sign it. Have Adam Hughes get it. You
Okay.
know, have Adam Hughes sign it. That's what I meant to say. But have
Adam,
Adam Hughes sign it.
I was like, what are you doing?
No, have Adam Hughes sign it, and then like instead of getting it like gold label, just get a red label. Have him send it back to me and send it to CBCS and get a red label and have the.
And it'll look
But
yeah.
then, you know, you say EGS, I can just do EGS and get the, you know, the signature and get the red on red or whatever I want to do. But
Yeah, get whatever you that. I think it could be
I
a
think
game.
I might. Yeah, I think I might do EGS because it'd be faster, man. Because like if I send it to CBCS, I'll be waiting. I'll be like next year. It'd be like next year anniversary of Grails. I finally got my book back.
Well, I heard it's getting better though. I heard it's getting better.
Yeah. Because I mean,
I
it
can't
was
get worse.
was actually cool because like I like the fact that they're like just like down south of me, so it's like you know maybe they'll actually improve their their turnaround. So we'll see. And what do you got? What you got?
Oh man, I binged. I don't know if anyone knows. You know, recently, Caleb the comic Smurf came up on just this amazing collection of some Silver Age of all kinds of different stuff, and I kind of jumped in there real early.
Oh yeah, you got in there before I did.
Bought a bunch of stuff. You know, early Avengers, early Fantastic Four, and some early Spider-Man. This was the stuff that I had like. This was my ace in the hole for my boxing match with Bear Island. I was going to come. I think the final box were the last two books that I'll show you here. But before I get to that, I want to tell a cool, quick story. If I got time, I got time.
Oh, yeah, you go.
Okay. Comic book stores, guys. What kind of comic book stores do you have? What comic book stores do you remember growing up with? And what kind of comic book stores are there now? When I grew up in San Francisco. I grew up in the city. My dad and I used to literally hop on the bus, take the 24 mission, take the 15 mission all the way down, get off on 24th Street, get a burrito, and then go over to the comic book store. And it was old, small tunnel books everywhere, but there was this area behind the counter where this guy had stuff up on the wall. And it was the wall. And my dad would stare at that damn wall. And I was like, look that shit. That's all old. What are you looking at that shit for? It's all old. You gotta get right? You gotta get the new shit, Dad.
Yeah.
So they don't really have that everywhere anymore. Especially new modern places. They just flat out don't do it. The
Yeah.
two places that I was going to in Lodi, first, they have all their moderns are come bagged and boarded. Sweet. I appreciate that. That's cool. Not even an extra charge. I really appreciate that. Old school places don't do that. But there's no old books. They don't even have like even dollar bins. Their back issues are very limited, and it's just not the same. Well,
Yeah.
Owls in Stockton is old school to the old school. And not only does he have piles of books falling all over the place because there's so many books, he's got the killer back wall that he's constantly putting shit up. Only problem is I don't know where he comes up with his freaking prices, bro. Because he's just out of left field. And I'll show him. I'm like, dude, you know what the GPA is? I don't know what that is. Don't show me that fucking thing. I don't know. I don't see that thing. Right now, I'm looking, and he pulls out like a book, and he'll be pulling out some Bible price guide. I'm like, dude, come on, man. So some of his stuff is outrageous. I go in there and put offers on stuff that he never takes. I finally went in there one day. I was like, Al, come on, man. Let's work. I want that book. He said, all right, let's do it. And I ended up picking up. Well, you know what they say? If you can't have the first appearance of somebody.
Oh, yeah. Get the second appearance.
All right. So this was the second appearance of Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin.
Oh, snap. That's a cool cover.
Okay. And actually, maybe this one ended up being the first appearance. Because I ended up buying the second appearance, and then later on, I think I bought the first appearance. I don't want to ruin that story. I think that's it, though. So I'm collecting Spider-Man, and Caleb has got just crazy Silver Age Fire. These are not in the greatest condition, guys, but I'll tell you, you try and find some, I don't know, sub 20 Spider-Mans out there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Good luck. Dude, you find sub 20 Spider-Mans, they're going to be beat to shit.
Oh,
or
yeah.
they're going to be so freaking expensive.
Oh, yeah.
They're just out of your range.
Dude,
So,
shout out to Caleb because he did sell me the first appearance of Iron Man's red and yellow armor. And dude, I sent that to CGC.
Right?
It's already at CGC.
Yeah, I don't know who to. I'm probably going to send these to Erod or Paul at Midwest or Strictly Comics. I mean, there's lots of good choices out there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
These three are all going to go. And it goes Spider-Man 18. Spider-Man 13.
Oh, no, you did. No.
Yes, I did.
No, you did. No.
Yes, I did.
Oh, Caleb, I'm going to get you.
I told you I had to jump on these things early.
Oh, I feel cheated.
And then Spider-Man 5.
No. Dude.
5. Single digit.
The Doom cover. Dude, that right.
Doom covers, which is another thing that I collect is Doom covers. Yeah. So, yeah, we go with some Spider-Man. We go with some Spider-Man. Now.
Dude, them some grails right there.
That's some grails right there. Yeah, that's what you said, right? That's the name of the show. I got to come with them. So, yeah, I was coming with some grails.
Yeah, Caleb, man, he scored. Yeah, I will say Caleb did. Yes, Caleb killed.
Now,
I
don't know about you and your collection, but I'm trying to pare my collection down now, right?
Yeah.
I look at, as I get older, do I really want all these modern books that I'm buying? Probably not. I want to scale the modern buys way down. The cover buying, I got to stop the cover buying.
Oh, dude, I don't even go the
cover buying.
Like right now, I really don't new comic book day. I really don't go out. The only thing I've been buying lately is Shazam, Flash, the year one thing going on with Flash, and just normal stuff that I would get, but like I'm not really going out for like like variants and crazy. Like when the Black Silver Surfer came out, or I didn't even go for that. Like because like to me,
how are you not going to take Black Silver Surfer, man? Come on.
Come on, man. Cause look, like you had like all right, like you look back at like was it the what was it the Red Goblin or what the heck was that thing back last summer or whatever, and everybody was specking on that, and then like it panned out and it didn't even really do anything. As in Spider-Man, was it the Red Goblin or what was like Normie Osborn or whatever? But yeah, so yeah, and I understand like the Silver Surfer deal or whatever. Yeah, it's probably gonna be cool. It's like but like me right now, the only thing I'm really like thinking I should get like in long term, like even though it's modern, is honestly like, and I'm not really a Batman fan, but the Batman Who Laughs I think is something to like look into getting the first appearance of, because like they're trying to really get behind that for some reason.
Yeah, So if I'm looking in the chat, there's some great stuff in there, So you got Gomez Comic Collector going 1 to 100, and then who got 1 to 20 plus all the keys after 20. That's awesome, right? So my current goals for long term, when do you stop? I was gonna try and finish my dad's Fantastic Four, ASM, and Avengers 1 to 100, but I'm okay filling in with True Believers, facsimiles, whatever the hell you got to fill in with, because there's no way I can afford to fill all those in. So I'm okay to finish those runs, with those, with True Believers and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you start thinking about other titles. Now, what do I really want to own in Hulk? Well, shit. I've got all the Immortal Hulk run. I like that run. But if you go before Immortal Hulk, what do I really, really, really want to own? Well, shit. I think I only want to own that one. And, maybe I got another one here that I just got from Erod. Where is it at? Because Erod actually pressed it. There it is. If I was only going to own 2 Hulks, and this one, for Jeffrey. If you're only going to own 2 Hulks, get that one and that one. If you're not going to get number 1, Gray Hulk one, which you're not, right? Yeah. If you're not getting Gray Hulk one, so those are, and then everything else in my Hulk collection, I think I'm going to move, because there's all kinds of weird random shit in there.
Oh yeah. Alex the Comic Quarter says save your money for Grails, who that like I've been listening to who that, and it's like he says stay focused, and really like I've not been buying like like me not buying new books and like saving money, like it forced me to buy like The Crow. Like I love The Crow, dude, and like I wanted this book, and to get this is a Grail for me. And The Crow #1, this is a book I wasn't looking for last year. I wasn't it wasn't on my list. It wasn't anything I was looking for, but like this year it was like something I was like I'm a fan of the movie. I like I like Bruce Lee. I like anything that's cool like that. And then like I enjoyed when Sting the wrestler did the Crow gimmick in WCW. So like this was like something that was part of my childhood that it was like I had to get. So I was like this was a Grail. So and then like the cool part is the back part, because it's like if you can kind of see like he's got the sketch at the back or whatever, but there's a sketch.
Oh, you got a sketch on it? That's sweet, dude.
Yeah, he did the sketch on the back. So, like, yeah, it's cool, man. Like that right there is like I gotta get the rest of them, like 2, 3, and I think was it 4.
That's the one thing I wasn't expecting to get introduced to and then so passionate about at C2E2, my first comic convention, was when you get introduced to original art.
Oh, yeah.
And people doing sketches and people doing remarks and the uniqueness of it. And, you start to think about, hey, why am I collecting? And what am I? You're trying to, you're collecting because you like it, because you read it, and because of its rarity. When you get a piece that is unique, it's awesome and it's addicting. So, I got my little sketchbook, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I got to get another one of these. Look at how that is so gorgeous. And next thing you know, you're spending the whole time just going from artist to artist trying to get, beautiful pieces of art. It's Seawood. If you ever got an hour, I don't know if you busted it out when you were at the place. If you make it to Baltimore, he has got this gorgeous sketchbook
Oh yeah, he put it on the Grail. He has it on Grails.
Holy
He
shit, man!
shows like if you go watch the Grails episode, he shows like
Wow,
his whole like yeah
it's amazing.
that
And
book
when you
can entertain you for hours just looking at the artwork in it.
bummer.
So it's like yes, it's like that's a great book for him to have. And don't you have one?
I got a little tiny one, yeah. Remember, I got that Perillo sketch in it.
Yeah. Yes, grading Grails does take time, and yeah, I do look.
So, and this is also why I'm not a fan of Liefeld anymore. So, everything that I got signed, whether I went to Archer and I bought his, his print that he was selling and his exclusive comic book that he's selling, and then I pay for that and I pay for the signature, and you could pay for witnessing and all that other shit. But after you buy all that stuff, I asked Archer and I said, "Hey, would you sign my book?" Just asking. And he did, they said everybody that I asked to sign it signed the front without charging you extra, except for one guy. Liefeld, when I asked him, hey, mate, afterward, I bought all his shit, bought the shit, and he's signing the shit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, can you? And I opened it up so you could see other people sign. I said, hey, can you sign my? And he literally gets up, turns around, and walks away from me. Just walked away.
What?
And his handler walks up to me, and I'm like, and he goes, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, what happened, dude? He was just signing this. He was all happy, and I asked him if he goes, yeah, $40. Like, I just spent $140 on all this other shit. What do you mean?
Man.
So, like, all right, I'm done with you. Is getting liquidated. Anytime I come across them, they're for sale in my auctions.
Okay, in his defense, in Liefield's defense, yes, he said some crazy stuff, man. But if it was not for that man, I would not be here with you right now.
Really? He's
Yeah,
huge here.
because like that was the reason why I got back into collecting. It was like this is like the Grail that caused the collecting of my like.
Oh, you don't show me that damn book,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It solved my life, Phil.
I'm
It was
supposed to be
like
rich right now because of that book. For all the copies that I originally bought of that damn book.
so. So this is the like this book is like when I went to Dallas Fan Expo, I got this book signed and I started collecting after this, and then I started watching YouTube videos, and then I started making YouTube videos, and then
Wow.
basically Liefeld caused all that. So
Wow.
so so I'm sorry to say, if it wasn't for Liefeld, there'd be no Tony Sanders on YouTube or the Tone or the Hunt or what's your
Liefeld, man, does he even know? Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
so yeah. So you can thank Liefeld for that. That's it. So yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, like look. Oh yeah. So wait. Do I want to? No. I guess I could show those, but I don't want to show them because I don't want to show. Well, let me see. Because like I guess I could show these because like I'm not really gonna show them on the Hunt because these are all cool.
Don't,
And and I got them.
remember, there's other competitions coming up too.
Oh no, yeah, that is true.
Got other competitions coming up that we haven't, that you haven't shared with everybody yet.
Look what I found. Look, there it is. The A Force. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now that's when you're talking about getting with the red.
Yeah. Red label with that signed.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
Man. And found this for like it said $14, but I was like, I only paid like 10. I think it was $10.
Holy moly! Alex only needs Sergeant Fury and his Howling #1 to complete that 1 to 100.
Wow.
Wow, that's freaking sweet, Alex. I hope you get that.
Let me see here. Oh well, I guess I could show these because I mean I got them off of auction, so everybody knows what they are. But I got them from Caleb. Got them from Caleb, and
That's awesome. Alex says, did I tell him, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? You've been discovered. Oh shit.
So these are books I actually speaking of Alex, yeah, I got these me, Alex, and Manny NYC were bidding on these books.
Oh my goodness.
On the auction. So but I ended up getting them. So this was this book was the first was it Tales of Suspense 66. This is
Yeah.
the origin of the Red Skull, and I guess the first real appearance of the Red Skull. And then
Yeah.
this is the first repulsor rays or whatever in like Iron Man's armor that they talk about as repulsor rays. So really, you know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna let everybody know what I'm doing. So I collect weirdly, and I have a weird collection thing. I don't know what I do. Like it's like I'll buy a book, but it's a reason that I buy the book, and I don't know why at first. But then I'll buy another book, and it coincides with some other book. But what I'm doing right now is like I'm on this Iron Man thing. So literally, I'm trying to gather all the first appearances of his armor and make like at one
Oh,
point in time a show
nice.
of all his armor up on my mantle.
That's sweet.
So
That's a good.
that
I've never heard of anyone ever doing that. That's
so
cool.
so I plan on doing that. But this is that's Tales of Suspense number 66.
Okay, you said you're a huge fan of Captain America too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
So, question for you. No spoilers, but what do you think of what they did with his character and how it ended? And how it tied into scenes that earlier that just
Like
blew me away.
Like
You
I thought
know,
they did it great because like I thought they did it great, but the only problem I ever had was at the end when he gave the shield to a certain person, and nothing against that person. I know that's how it should have went, but
he has no superpowers.
yeah,
What the hell? His only power is that he's getting a hold of Shield. What the hell?
yeah. So I was just like, to me, it was like they did it right, but they gave the shield to the wrong person at the end. So
Yeah, but I don't. They couldn't have given it to the other guy with the. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, but
Anyway, I
well,
had no idea that when until Instagram starts posting these photos of the past scenes of the past movies that tie it all together.
mhm.
That you're just blown away. So when Scarlet Witch gives him a vision, and in that vision he's there carrying the casket, the guy with he was actually carrying the casket, blew me away, dude. Blew me unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is Tales of Suspense number 80. Oh, it's Red Skull holding the Cosmic Cube. Cool cover. Yeah, this is gonna get slabbed, so
Yeah, nice.
that's kind of like a what's that a Avengers
Oh, for sure.
reference there. So
With the cube, for
and then
sure.
what's this one? This is 81. The Return of the Titanium Man. Some more Iron Man goodness there.
How
And
many different armors are there?
I know there's like all right, there's like the key ones that they talk about is like the Centurion armor, which I already have that. And really, if you don't know, Iron Man 200 is the actual first appearance of the Centurion armor, I believe, but it's also actually Obadiah Stane. Like anything that happened in Iron Man 1 is that story. It's actually that story. So if you have the first appearance of the Centurion armor, it shows Obadiah Stane in the armor from the Iron Man 1 movie. And they
Yeah,
fight, and it's all that's where they get. It's basically that movie from like
yeah,
just in that book. So it's a pretty good book. So that's like one that that one, the Centurion armor. Then there's the space armor, stealth armor, his gold armor, the first appearance, the gray armor, which that's who that?
yeah. Was there a God Killer armor and
Yeah. He's got a mythic armor too, and like
yeah,
he's got a mythic armor, and like there's a whole bunch of them. But like I'm gonna try to get as many of the first ones that I get, like the Hulk Buster and all that. I'm gonna try to get like all those slabbed, and then like turn around and display it, and then see how it looks.
nice.
So this is Tales of Suspense 78. Cap, Nick Fury together at last. That's
Girls, please.
and Tales of Suspense 75, The Fury of the Freak.
Man, you got a hell of a run here.
First Batron the Leaper, and first Sharon Carter.
Nice. Dude, I can't believe he scored all these books for us.
And then this one, oh wow, I didn't even realize this one. This is a Tales of Suspense 74, The Final Sleep with Cap on the cover. But I didn't realize it had like a swastika, like a Nazi swastika.
Holy shit, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so that's kind of cool right there. I mean, not I mean, on a comic book back in the day
Yeah,
for that to be on there, it's like a rare deal. So that's another Kirby cover, and then this is Tales of Suspense 71.
Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah, what they put on there? Let's see. Yeah, the armor with the nose. Yeah, he did have armor with a nose at one point in time. It was weird too. And then we got this one right here is Tales of Suspense 68. And then we got the last one, Tales of
How many are in
Suspense.
that run?
That's a lot.
I mean,
Like,
Tales of Suspense went for hundreds of issues, or
oh, to like 99, I think. And then like 100 turns into Captain America.
Captain America?
100. Yeah, and it turns into Captain America 1, but it's really Tales of Suspense
Yeah.
that turns into it's weird, but it's like 100 is actually Tales of Cap 100 is actually like Tales of Suspense 100, I guess, or whatever.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the
Your
Hulkbuster
guys in the
armor.
chat can tell us, I bet. Okay, my kids are screaming and crying, man. My time is
So,
running out
oh yeah.
quickly.
So, what do you got coming up, real quick, though, before we
Okay,
go?
what have I got coming up? Well, I'm trying to figure out the perfect time to release this show. And I'll be honest with you, I've tried early, I've tried middle, I've tried late. I don't know what really works. I know I'm premiering every day now, and that's really fun to get, the people in the live chat during the premiere.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm enjoying the hell out of that. I'm going to try and shoot for noon, my time, West Coast time, every day and see what happens. Today was the first day I actually did at noon. We'll see if that helps. But the show's every day, 5 days or 6 days a week. I take Sundays off. I'm on Comic Core Friday nights. One of a panel of many. It's always a good time. It's Friday
Oh, yeah.
night. What the hell? I know I need to do some unboxing, so that's coming up. At some point, I'm gonna have to unbox some of this stuff because it is coming in too fast. So maybe this weekend I'll try to squeeze one of those in, but not too much. Same old thing.
And for y'all that aren't in the know, he might actually be one of the people in the brain trust of Slapdown.
Never know. Could happen.
Could be. Never know.
Never
But
know.
so anyway, guys, this has been another episode of What's Your Grail, and I just got to show this last book before we go because this was on my list of books that I wanted. But this is the reason why like I bought this book was because like I wanted it because like it's just cool, man. I mean, like who doesn't want like the Green Hornet #1
Another one, the
with
green.
with actual like
Potato?
Bruce Lee on the cover? So I was like, cool.
Nice.
But really set it off to me was the back part. Was like, look, man, like that's really
Oh, that's
them.
cool.
Just like
Little
just them, like
team.
yeah, like
Comic.
they're like posing and stuff. And then like that's why I say like I have a weird collection. Like I do
You
weird
do have
stuff.
a weird collection.
'Cause look, because father and son,
Oh, dude. Wow, that's cool.
father
That's
and son.
cool.
Yeah. So and look, the 3 and the 7 add to 10.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's weird, but yeah, man. This has been What's Your Grails. I'm glad to have you on Discovery, and join me next week when who knows who the guest will be. I'll find out.
All right. Thank
But
you. Appreciate it.
be sure to check in with Discovery because he'll know before I might know.
Nah, thanks.
All right, catch you guys.